All right, good morning, everybody. This is Mike Dalco, the CEO, continuously empowering others. I'm doing a Facebook live stream right now, but I'll probably put this on my YouTube channel. So I'm recording this for YouTube as well. If you hear me refer to some people on this conversation, it's because they're typing in a chat room and you guys on YouTube can't see it. And very often they collaborate with me in these conversations, and it makes it a more stimulating conversation. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Today's topic I'm going to be discussing is just a flow chart. So that's the title of this on YouTube and on Facebook Live. It's just a flow chart. And I've put some interesting slides together to make you really get the power of what a networking business can do for you and your family, and why everyone over legal age needs to have a networking business. You need it. And I know that's a bold statement, a very absolutist type statement, but I'm going to try to back it up with some fundamental facts and some screenshots that I did from my own personal back office in real time, and then some other things I pulled offline. Okay, you need a flow chart. It's just a flow chart. That's all it is. I've been searching for the right word, and I looked all past the word flow chart, looking for some more comprehensive word. There's nothing better. It's a flow chart. Now let's dig into it. Let me share my screen with you, and I want to sort of show you where people get a little hung up trying to understand something that's really simple. It's right in front of your face. Here's a flow chart. If you guys on Facebook Live, if you see my screen, go ahead and type a Y. Let me do it again to make sure I'm sharing the right screen. All right, I'm pretty sure this is perfect here. But go ahead and type a Y. If you can see my screen with that flow chart on it. And what I'm alluding to here is, in a flow chart, it's necessary that you have one because it denotes how things are supposed to happen in an organization. Without a flow chart, you're just like throwing mud up against the wall to see what sticks. There's no cohesive organization. There's no order. There's no structure. Yesterday in church, my pastor talked about structure, and he talked about it, and he alluded to a train track. He says, engineers build a train track, and they design it to go through the terrain, and they level it, and once the track is set and they put the tracks in place, a huge locomotive carrying tons of materials can flow easily on that track. Now, without that track, that locomotive, no matter how powerful it is, it couldn't go anywhere. But once they put the track, the structure in place, that train's all over the country, just flying. There's even high-speed rail, trains going 200 and 300 miles an hour. Once the structure is in place, you can have massive mobility. And so with that being the case, structure is vital to the growth of a healthy organization. So here, as you look on my screen, you see a flow chart. And at the top of this flow chart, which is really deep, I picked this one strategically because it's more like what we do in a networking business. Very often people say in a business structure, the CEO is at the top. Actually, they're not. You know who's really at the top? Anyone who's smart enough to get shares in a business they believe in. Now, I could talk all day about Karatbars International and the importance of getting the new Karat Bank token, because it gives you a stake, not necessarily a share, but it gives you a stake in the exponential financial growth of Karat Bank. And as it's more profitable, you owning token, you have a stake in that growth, that financial potential. And Mr. Sykes put out a video today. You guys need to go and watch it. It is ridiculous how powerful this thing is. You need to go watch it, because he has a future goal of making every one of the cryptocurrency token that right now in the cryptocurrency space is just nebulous. It has no real backing. He has already planned in the future that every single token is backed by an equal amount of 1-to-1 gold, 1/10 of a gram of gold. So you need to go and pay attention to that. But let's jump into this conversation about the flow chart. So notice here, the shareholders are really at the top. In other words, the CEO is doing things for this whole company structure that is going to benefit the shareholders, or the shareholders will pull out, which will pull out the income from the CEO and that company is out of here. Don't you think for a moment that big titans like Wells Fargo are going to stay in business? If they become unprofitable and the shareholders pull out, they're going to yank the rug out from under this titan of an organization, and that company will crumble. The people are at the top of the publicly held companies. This is a flow chart of a publicly held corporation. So the shareholders, which are the money people who are investing in the corporation, they are at the top. The people are at the top. The CEO is at the top of the corporate structure, but the shareholders keep the CEO accountable. That's why they can fire a CEO. That's why John Stumpf, when Wells Fargo got caught up in that corruption, making false accounts for people, John Stumpf was supposed to be watchdogging this whole group down here. And because he didn't do a good job of watchdogging, the shareholders, they got rid of him. Now, he got a golden parachute. I don't think he's mad. He probably got $27 million to leave the company. But that was in his contract. So he's got a board of directors and inspectors and a finance center, and the shareholders run Wells Fargo. That's why they got rid of him. That's why you can fire a CEO. But this is a corporate structure. And inside of each of these parts of the organization, they have other heads of the organization, like the payroll department. So under finance, the CEO is the boss of the finance chairman, the CFO, but the CFO has an accounting team and a payroll department, and people work for them, and people work for them, and they pay all the employees within this flow chart. It's just a flow chart. They report back to the CEO. He signs off on all these checks, who sign off. They got a legal team, and there are legal people working there and employees working, and then paper pushers at the bottom. They've got collections, IT. IT people work for the head of the IT department. It's just a flow chart. That's all it is. They've got an HR department. It's just a flow chart. Claims, renewals, reinsurance, property, health. Every company. If you have a company without a flow chart, you don't have a company. All right? That's all this is. It's just a flow chart. Now, this is a little cartoon version of the flow chart, but it's still accurate. You have a CEO and presidents, vice presidents, middle management, and hardworking employees. Now, I want somebody to type in the chat room on Facebook Live, who makes the most money in this flow chart? Is it the CEO, the presidents? Is it the vice presidents? Is it middle management? Or is it hardworking employees? In other words, who makes the most, the people at the bottom or the people closer to the top? Who makes the most money? I want you to type that in on Facebook Live, and I'll share that with the people here that are watching via YouTube. That is correct. It is the people, the CEO makes the most, and then the vice presidents make the next most, and then the presidents, the vice president, then middle management makes more than the employees. The lower you go on this flow chart, the less you earn in income. The higher you go on this flow chart, the more you earn in income. And typically, the employees will never be the CEO. There's only one CEO of General Electric. Is GE still a company? There's only one CEO of Ford Motor Company. There's only one CEO of IBM. So there's only going to be one CEO. You're never, ever, as an employee, going to make more than the person at the top. Never. It'll never happen. The only way to make more than the person at the top is to become the person at the top, and there's only one slot in CEO. You'll never be that person, ever. If you're down here, you might make middle management. You might, by the end of your life, make vice president, but you'll probably never be a president, and you're never going to be the CEO. Let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it real. If you're a hardworking employee now, you might be a shift leader or a lead, or a shift lead, but you'll never be. You might make it to middle management after 20 or 30 years, and then you're so old, you're too old to enjoy it. All right, you're never going to work your way up this corporate ladder. So, unless you're his son, exactly, Jay. Unless you're his son. Okay, so the next thing, I'm going to show you now a live real time, or this almost real time because I screenshotted it about an hour ago. So it's probably a lot bigger than this now. But this is my actual live back office. And you see my name here. I redacted everybody else's initials to stay compliant. But you see my back office. And notice here, I want to show you that I sponsored in this account. We have 4 accounts, my account, my business account, my wife's account, and her business. And so we have 4 accounts. In this particular account, I sponsored 294 people that became a part of my flow chart. Now, here's why people call it a pyramid. And I get it. I get the ignorance. And I don't mean that in an insulting way. Ignorant meaning unknowing. I get that most people, 80% of the people on the planet, don't understand networking as it's just a flow chart. They call it things like pyramids and get-rich-quick schemes. It is anything but a get-rich-quick scheme. You can get rich quick, maybe, but typically it's going to take a lot of hard work, all right? But this flow chart will make you hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, and a lot of it you'll get paid while you sleep. Here's why. I sponsored 294 people in this, my first account, but I have 21,051 people in my flow chart. And I am at the top of my flow chart. Now, here's what's interesting. Ann Hines is my sponsor. Now, now people say, well, only the people at the top make the money. And forgive me for making fun of their voice. I shouldn't do that. I'm sorry. Because I don't think they're saying that nefariously. They're just saying it out of ignorance. If I could get Nate on the phone with me right now, he would tell you that I'm making more money than him in Karatbars. A lot more. And he's above me. He sponsored me. So he would be here. But I, below him, am out earning him dramatically. He still has a job. I don't. I probably make more in my flow chart than he makes on his job. And he has a really good job. But he didn't continue to build his flow chart, and I did. So I'm out earning him, and I'm below him. So for every person that said silly, ignorant things like you've got to sponsor people to make money, and you can't make more money than the person above you, and only the people at the top make money, and it's a get-rich-quick scheme, and it's what? None of that stuff is true. And the reason why I do these type live streams and YouTube videos is to educate as many people as are willing to listen to my little weak voice. I'm going to talk about this until the Lord calls me home, because this is the absolute best, the quintessential best way for the average individual to generate an above average lifestyle. And when I say average, I mean the regular 9-to-5 working individual, the one that's keeping the economy going. This is the best way to escape that rat race. Because if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you are going to work until you die. Because how are you going to make money when you retire? When you stop working, your income's going to stop. Yes, you're going to get your little Social Security check, which is 40% of what you couldn't live on when you were working full time. But for the most part, you're going to work until you die. Most people they're trying to raise the retirement age now because Social Security is becoming insolvent. Guys, it's time to head for the hills and find a better way. And this is it. Because I only sponsored less than 300 people in this account, and this account has over 21,000. Where did they come from? It came from other people becoming the CEO of their own flow chart. Now, let me show you something amazing. All right, here's my flow chart. Notice when people call it a pyramid, how ignorant that is as a concept. These blue dots represent people who have signed up and not gotten a business package. These red X's represent people who haven't even been, these spots haven't been filled in. So it's not a 2, 4, 8, 16. It's more of a 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 2, 3, 6, 8. It's not even symmetrical. And furthermore, this guy doesn't have a pyramid at all. He's got just one leg. And this lady, she doesn't have a pyramid. Well, she sort of looks like a pyramid there. But if you click into what she's doing, boy, this is going to blow your mind. If you click into what she's doing, she's not doing anything at all. Here she is, the first person I sponsored. She has sponsored 3 people, but has 13,000 in her flow chart, and she hasn't made any money. See, she's above this person. I sort of almost showed that name. I apologize for that, but that's my best friend, and he's cool, and he's making way more money than her. He got paid $200 yesterday. He still, unless he's on this live stream, he probably doesn't know that he made that money. That's my best friend, Jason. So I can tell on Jason. Jason made $200 yesterday on a Sunday, and he didn't know he made the money. And this person didn't make any of that money because Jason built his flow chart, and this person didn't. This person has 0 units on their other side of their pay leg and 63,000, which would turn into money on their bank leg, and has not withdrawn any of it because they refuse to get on the trainings with me and learn this simple business. And yes, Grady, great point. Let me go back. Grady just made a point on Facebook. The person right under me, directly under me right here, has no, Grady said, the person right under you is still a blue dot, Mr. Dalco. He's missing so many units. People don't know what they are missing. Grady, and see YouTube, I'm collaborating. Grady Holcomb is one of my business partners from Missouri. I never would have met Grady without Mark, but I never would have met Mark without Lawrence, but I never would have met Lawrence without YouTube. That's the power of building a network. Wow, thank you, Grady. See, I told you, and my buddy Thomas Valet from Stuttgart, Germany, who worked at Karatbars, is on the live stream with me. So good to see you, Thomas. Still praying for you, brother. Good to see you, man. And so you're right. This person, because they haven't built their flow chart, is still growing, which is a whole nother seminar. Oh my God, I'm getting so fired up here. This person's flow chart is growing. Why? Because I sponsored that person, and I sponsored that person, and I'm going to continue to build even though she's not. She can't stop me. She can't stop. Okay, let me go back a second. Let me go back here. I'm bending over here to see past my cell phone because I'm looking at live stream. Look at this. She was my first person that I sponsored. This blue dot was spillover. I didn't sponsor him or her. I sponsored this black dot, which is a VIP, and that 5 means they're on auto exchange. Well, that's my wife's business account. So I'm going to keep building my right team and my left team, even if these people don't build, which they didn't. And they couldn't stop me because I still ran to over 21,000 affiliates on my team. See, you need to start your network because even though she's not building, I'm not going to stop. And so she's got 13,000 people on her left team because that's the team that I am building. She becomes the recipient of it. Here's a word for you: placement, positioning, and placement. Guys, if you're not in networking and you're listening to this stream, stop procrastinating. Stop it. Stop it right now. She signed up for free. She signed up for free. There was no risk. Our company doesn't even require your sensitive information like your bank account does. It doesn't even require it. She signed up for free, and just because she trusted me enough to sign up for free, she's got 13,000 people in her flow chart that she didn't build. She only put in 3, and they put in a couple. Her flow chart is massive, and she can wake up any day and take off running because in Karatbars, the volume never flushes. That 63,000 is going to grow. It's probably growing right now while I'm talking to you. And it's going to keep growing, and it'll never stop growing. Why? Because I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. And so she is the recipient of my work ethic, and rightfully so, because she trusted me to go ahead and sign up when other people were waiting and praying about it and fasting and talking to their spouse. She just threw caution to the wind and just got in because there was nothing to lose. Richard Branson says, If you see an opportunity that makes even a little bit of sense, and there's very much to gain and almost nothing to lose, by all means, get in and figure it out later. Yes, this is being recorded for YouTube. Figure it out later. Because she got in 3 years later, she still hasn't figured it out, and it's still growing. Stop procrastinating on something that's this simple. Get a free account, save gold for yourself, share with others how to do the same, and make money. She can't even figure out how to do that yet. Hopefully she will one day. Now, it gets better. So notice she hasn't made any money. So it's just a flow chart. It's just a flow chart. Look, as an employee, you don't have a flow chart. Notice that there's nothing under this part of the flow chart. In a corporate America structure, there's people, the more people you have below you, the more leverage you have to stay on the golf course, Mr. and Mrs. CEO, and stay on the beach and still make money from your laptop or your cell phone. That's what we do in a networking business. So guys, it's just a flow chart. That's all it is. Get back with the person that's been sharing with you how to build a flow chart and start building your flow chart. Don't be satisfied, or complacent is a better word, of being the person at the bottom of the flow chart. Don't be the employee. It's great to have a job. God bless you to be employed and to have a job, but don't be the person at the bottom of the flow chart. And in a networking business, everybody is at the top of the flow chart. I know you're saying here, no, Mike, you're at the top. Well, I don't know the people she knows. I don't know these people. So she's at the top of her sphere of influence. She's at the top of her network. He's at the top of his network. You're at the top of your network. Don't be the person that is procrastinating when these amazing people are simply just trying to show you a simple flow chart. It's just a flow chart. This is Mike Dalco, the CEO, continuously empowering others, encouraging you, employing you, motivating you, inspiring you, I hope, consistently empowering others. I'm hoping that I'm empowering you today to get back with the person that's been sharing Karatbars International with you. There's no business in the world better than this. And if I could take a moment of liberty, just so people are clear at what we do, I'm still inside of 30 minutes. What do? We take cash out of our wallet. Wow, this is going to be amazing. Let me hurry up with this. We take cash out of our wallet and we acquire gold. That's all we do. We take cash out of our wallet and we acquire gold. Well, you say, well, why gold? Because in 1970, this 5-gram bar of gold would cost me $6. In 1970, I would get this 5-gram bar of gold for $6. If I save this cash, I lost wealth, because today that same 5-gram bar of gold would cost me, oh man, I don't have enough cash on the table. That same 5-gram bar of gold today would cost me 200 and who cares? Let's just say 300 bucks. It's like 260 bucks. All right? In 1970, what you could buy with this, now it takes this to buy it. In 1970, what you could buy with this, now you can buy this with gold. You got richer just by taking this, exchanging this for this in 1970. You turn that into this. You could cash this in and get this today. That's why we save gold. So you save gold for yourself to increase your wealth, refer others, and you get paid in cash and more free gold. That's Karatbars International. That was a 3-minute Karatbars presentation. So get back with the person that's been sharing Karatbars International with you. Let them know you want more information about it, and they'll show you how to get your free account set up. This is Mike Dalco, the CEO, continuously empowering others. We'll see you guys on the next stream.